team. Took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free. Free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity. I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I still live through technology. The sun will start shining. What is the pain? And tears the pain. And tears the pain. And that's just justification. Your destiny will manifest. Yes, for the
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me get this music together. Hold on. Because I still want y'all to hear it in the background. I think that's good. Hello, everyone. Welcome me, welcome you. Listen, I had no intent. I always say this stuff. When I tell y'all to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to hit that notification bell, I mean it. Because I don't know when I'm going to go live. I don't know whenever the spirit hits me or whenever I feel compelled to go live, I just go live. Okay. Hope that you all are having a wonderful Sunday. I'm not going to be able to do this for too long because I still have to pack up a little bit because I'm visiting my parents in Indiana for the holidays, which I'm so excited to get to see them. And as I grow in age, and so do they, I'm trying my best to be around them as much as I can because you never know when that day will come, and it will come. All right. Before we get into today's commentary, let's go ahead and do this real quick. And I have it pulled up, actually. I'm surprised. Boom. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now, for those of you who are native to BubzDaGawd and been here for a while, you know that we have done a few commentary videos on YouTuber, content creator, newly devoted Republican Christian Ron Vuggotta, who, again, I've had the honor and the privilege to be able to have a few personal conversations with. And I've always told him, I said, we need to see the real, raw, emotional side of you, because that's the side that is really keeping a lot of people, or that's influencing or persuading a lot of people to respond the way that they're responding to you. And in my own personal life, what I am trying to do in application, first starting with myself and then applying it to others, is learning how to love myself, to honor myself, to cherish myself, and to honor my humanity. By honoring my humanity, by me choosing to heal from previous experiences, traumas in my life, my lens is now a lot more clearer than it was before, to the point to where I can honor, celebrate the humanity in other people, even if they can't see the humanity in me. Even if them being blinded by their own traumas makes it difficult for them to see me as human. But I'm trying to be the power or the change that I seek. Okay? Now, I will say this. I commend Ron once again, first of all, for just being honest. regardless of how abrasive the honesty might be, regardless of how the honesty is expressed verbally. I'm just grateful that people are now starting to be honest, because when we're honest, now we can start working with things. Now we can start getting to the root of shit because we're working it out now. That's why I titled this live The Power of Emotional Honesty, because in this live, Ron is going to express where his heart is. And the more that he expresses his truth, the more I, for me, my lens, is able to understand why the viewpoints are what they are. Why the perspectives is what they are. Okay? And again, we'll be able to break those things down and at the end of the day, get to the humanity. Because I believe that Ron really does want to do better, not just for himself, but for those around him. But you have to get to know and talk to the people around you. And if you can't have those conversations or those experiences with some people in the black community and in the queer community, because let's be real, there is still a lot of healing that needs to be done within those communities. Because when you've been hurt multiple times again and again and again, I think he brings up the example of being in a bad relationship. Well, imagine being in a bad relationship, a toxic relationship with the system for centuries. Some of the shit that the oppressor has put onto you, you eventually are going to put that on somebody else. Hurt people hurt people. That's why healing is important. That's why emotional honesty is important. And again, I'm grateful for Ron being able to be that individual. Now, however y'all feel about Ron personally, that is y'all's business. Okay? But I'm speaking about what I think, what I believe, what my perspective is, because this is my channel. Okay? I don't see Ron Vuggotta as an enemy of the people. I don't see him as that. For me, I just see him as an individual who is trying to heal traumatic experiences about himself, but he also has to surround himself with some of those group of people that hurt him, not the exact ones that hurt him, but those that look like the ones that hurt him, so that he can complete his healing, because there is still a lot of emotional healing and work there, from my opinion. And the fact that he's making the choice to let it out, I'm grateful for that. The fact that he's choosing to cry, I don't think he cries in this video, but he cried before he did the live. I'm not going to beat men up for crying. I'm not going to do that. I would prefer for more men to cry, because that's the soul's way of throwing up. That is you choosing to acknowledge whatever is hurting you and to let it go. And when you learn to genuinely let it go, that's when you remove all of the things that no longer serve you, and you also expand your territory in order for you to receive more. And for some people, that might be physical blessings as far as money is concerned, and no shade. We all want money. We all want abundance. But for me, I want my true abundance to come from the inside. I want to be happy with my life. I want to be happy with me. I want to have peace. I want to have joy. And I have those things. Everything else will fall into place. Ron Mims says, "Hey Bub, so what did you get out of the gay conversion documentary? Were you able to get a better understanding of what the subjects were going through?" Actually, yes. I'm grateful for that documentary, and the documentary he's speaking about, and it's on Netflix right now. It's called Pray Away. Okay, it talks about the ex-gay ministry, ex-gay movement that started in, I want to say, the 80s. And they had certain people who were the poster child for the ex-gay movement, and come to find out decades later they were just lying. I'm learning more and more every day to be as honest as I can with myself. And the truth hurts. To deal with the objective truth, that's the truth that I can't control. The only truth that I can control in my life is my subjective truth. This shit is deep, y'all, because in order for us to make the change in reference to the collective, it starts with us individually. So instead of me doing what so many other people would do, which would literally just do lives to bash Ron Vuggotta and to make fun of him and to throw shade, I'm going to do the thing that is going to be difficult. I'm going to try to understand, or try to find a way to access the humanity. because that's the thing that wants to be acknowledged. Regardless of racism, queerphobia, humanity wants to be acknowledged. And we're trying to learn how to acknowledge all of humanity. So with that being said, let's get into Ron Vuggotta's live. And if you want to watch it in your own time, without my commentary, the link for his video is in the description box below, because I ain't no hating ass nigga, no shade. But let's get into it. Let me move this out the way. All right.
This is indeed a live stream. I don't know when everyone is going to watch this, but I have disappeared for a couple of months. Conservative commentary, woke and broke conservative commentary, one Vuggotta. If you are a new subscriber of mine, then that's probably why you subscribe to me, because of my Republican views. And if you haven't watched me in a couple of years and you're subscribed to me, yeah, I'm Republican. So over the past couple of months, I'm not even gonna bullshit y'all. Over the past couple of months, I truly have just released my problems, released my life to Jesus Christ, and my life has just been changing. And it's like abundance is in my life, and it's raining on me. I'm not manifesting. I'm not sitting here praying. I pray every day, but I'm not sitting here, you know, wishing. God has, I mean, I'm in an M5. Come on. I'm not finna talk too much.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. As far as the physical aspect, as far as money is concerned and material things, yes, that he has glowed up in that. He definitely has. But that's not my focus of the conversation, because no shade, there's a lot of people that have material things, and mentally and emotionally they're still stuck in the same place. So no shade, no shade. Like, it would be dope to have a balance of that, to have the abundance as far as the material as well as the internal. That, at least for me, that would be the goal. But shout out to Ron for upgrading his life. Okay. And no shade, we all have to upgrade our lives in some way, form, or fashion.
About my personal life, but just I've been gone for the past couple of months because I just wanted to enjoy life. I wanted to enjoy the blessings that Jesus has rained upon my life, and I just wanted to get my mind right. Now, I was just having a moment. I'm driving. I was just having a moment. I was just on the Chrome camera, but I was thinking, like, I hear a lot of people talk a lot of shit about me being Republican, and a lot of people like to call me an Uncle Tom, and they like to call me a coon, and they like to say, oh, I'm just doing this shit for money. And I just really sat here and thought about it. I'm not doing this shit for money, let's make that clear. But what I'm saying is as far as black people wanting to say, oh, I'm kissing white people ass or whatever, that's not the truth. But what I am gonna say is I can honestly say, without the script, without me trying to think about what I'm going to talk about, people want the real and the raw. People want to get to know me personally and know who I am as a person. I can truthfully say, and maybe somebody can identify with this, that black people really did push me into being Republican, because when I think about my life, like, what has me in this fucked up mood right now is all of this trauma black people are sending to me. And it's not trauma that I'm getting from people calling me a coon or people calling me an Uncle Tom. I'm not weak. I'm not messed up about any internet keyboard talk. I'm not messed up about that. It's personal trauma in my life where it's hitting at me on all angles and sides. And I think about it. Well, if black people want to call me an Uncle Tom and say that, oh, I'm just trying to kiss white people ass, then who the fuck would blame me? Because when I think about all this hurt that I've experienced in my life, it always has came from people who look like me.
Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Those experiences that he has been through, the hurt and pain that he has endured from people who look like us, who are black and who have been queer, you need to share those experiences, because they're still a part of you. Again, it's just my opinion, my perspective, okay? that needs to heal from those experiences, because I think what you don't understand from the outside looking in, yes, you're in it subjectively, it's your life, it's a lot of things we don't know, so yes, but objectively looking at it and having some level of discernment, because I've even said this in my earlier conversations or commentary on Ron Vuggotta's expressions, that you have aligned yourself politically with a group of people historically who have weaponized your voice to speak against oppressed groups of people. Just like Ron Mims said in the gay conversion documentary entitled Pray Away, how the church at that time weaponized these people's experiences of being ex-gay against queer people, just to find out they've been queer all along because they weren't able to deal with the emotional aspect of it. So for a lot of people, they're looking at you and saying that because you are a black person, well, you're a mixed person. I still consider you black, but you're black and Filipino. You're a person of color, and you're a person who, even though you may not identify with the queer community, you're still gay. So what we're saying is that based on the history, not just history in the past, and there was this big ass gap, and it was just peace and love and all this stuff, and everybody just put their shit down and everybody just came together, and it was a very much kumbaya moment. That wasn't the case. There was always this onslaught, this ongoing thing that was happening to these oppressed groups of people. And yes, even when those oppressed groups of people decided to liberate themselves, just like you're choosing to, just like I'm choosing to, if enough of those people were to do that, the system cannot have it, because it is benefiting on the backs of oppressed people. But hurt people, and there's people who are even oppressed who oppress other people. Even in the black community, there's a lot of white supremacist type of energy that happens in blackness, to where now there's a group of black people that feel like they're better or superior to other groups of black people. And both myself and Ron have dealt with that type of experiences with people who look like us. I grew up being bullied by black people. I grew up dealing with queer phobia from my own black community. So yes, is there a conversation for that? You goddamn right. You goddamn right. But like a wise mystic once said, the stuff that people bring into your life, you can't control what happens in your life as far as what other people bring into it. The only thing that you are in control of is your emotional and your mental and the cleanup of it afterwards. So for a lot of us, it gives the illusion, I shall say, that because you have been hurt by these people, now it's the time to turn around and hurt them. And I think what's happening is that you're having another ego death, to where you're having an internal conflict within yourself, because it's like you want to connect with black people. You want to connect with the queer community. You want them to do better, but it's hard for them to do better when they keep hurting you. But you don't even understand that your commentary that you give on them and your approach, you're literally doing the same thing. So it's a back and forth of hurt people hurting each other. And I feel like you're in a place where you're trying to learn how to break that cycle, which is why the crying is important, which is why the emotional intelligence, well, is becoming more intelligent, but the emotional awareness, shall I say, is starting to happen. Ron says, I don't think turning into a supervillain makes you strong. I told you he was a type that doesn't fit in and was ridiculed by society, and he suddenly decided to go after those that crossed him. And I ain't gonna hold you. I can understand that. There's been plenty of times where I wanted to get back at niggas who hurt me. There's been plenty of times where I wanted to seek retribution and to receive vengeance for what was done to me. I could do that, or I could just make the choice to love myself and realize that those people were just operating in what it is that they knew at the time. And I can't even really fault them for that. But now that we know, now that we're becoming better, now that we're no longer ignorant and we're educated, now we're supposed to do better. Okay, so again, the emotional awareness and intelligence within Ron is starting to grow, and I think it's going to help him become more balanced as an individual and also in what it is that he wants to create. Because I even told him, I said, you could literally revolutionize what Republican is in a different way. Because no shade, all the shit that's happening right now is because of a bunch of old ass dinosaurs, girl, who are 10 minutes older than dirt, who is taking too long to take their damn eternal dirt nap and don't want to pass the torch and the baton to the younger generation. It's a lot of deep shit, y'all. That's why these conversations are important. You cannot black and white the shit. You cannot cookie cutter the shit. The shit that is going on in America today, we all are going to have to go under the knife without any sort of anesthetic, anything to numb the pain. We're going to have to feel every single bit of it. It's going to hurt like hell. It's going to make us feel fucked up sometimes, but it's necessary in order for change to happen. Spicy says, of course, it would come from his own community. If he grew up in his own community, he's a passing visitor trying to integrate himself into the white Republican community. That could be the case. Because I've seen a lot of people, and putting Ron aside, Amir Odom, there are other people within the queer community who don't even want to be connected to the queer community or the black community because, oh, y'all keep talking about the same thing and you seem like y'all ain't healing. Do we need to heal? Yeah, but this whole situation that happened, it wasn't just us. We didn't just solo dance it out, baby. This was a tango. It takes two to tango. And we also have to be objective about what has happened factually. We can't just take history and throw it out the window. That's what they want us to do. But little do they know that the more they resist, the more that change is going to persist. And if it doesn't happen in their lifetime, there will be a generation that will come make a change. So again, this commentary is not, and Ron knows this. Personally, he knows that my commentary is not meant to denigrate him. But I am going to speak on your viewpoints because, Ron, whether you know it or not, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news and what's happening in the world today, or happening in America, shall I say, in particular today, with all these laws that are being put in place. How affirmative action was stricken down. How there are, to my knowledge, the last that I know of, about 50 to 60 something anti-LGBT laws that has been enacted in America, to where now businesses have the right to discriminate against queer people because of their religious beliefs. And as much as I want to believe, and as much as you would want to believe, that if you are not those queer people, that you will automatically be exempt from it. And again, if black people are delusional, if queer people are delusional, and we don't know what the fuck we talking about, then my thing is, I need you to, seeing is better, seeing is believing. You should record your experiences with white people and them, with you being mixed and with you being queer, gay, and them not having a problem. Like, show us how delusional we are. Because it gives the illusion that, if we're going to be honest here, in reference to looking at it in humanity, it gives the illusion that all of us on all sides are always picking on what's what I'm looking for? It's on the tip of my damn tongue. What's it called? We're looking at the exaggerated or the stereotypical parts of all the communities. We focus on that, but we leave out so much context and nuance when we invite the other intersections of those things to help us get it. Because again, we're always playing on the negative, always playing on the negative, always playing on the negative. And we're not even playing on the quote unquote negative to help educate ourselves and those that we're giving commentary on, but to just simply, oh, I got him back. Oh yes, I said that. Oh yes, I told him off. For what? Because at the end of the day, these laws are going to affect all of us. All of us. Even those who suppress ourselves, it's still affecting us because now we have to suppress who we are. Ron Mims says, I can totally relate to the ridicule for being I don't know, that's a white square or what, and most people will say that I sound white, but my accent is similar to Darian of Bad Boys Club, Dallas, because he's from a Buffalo, which is an hour away from home. Yeah. Even me, when I was in high school, I went to a predominantly white high school. And then it started to become more integrated with black people. And I was in the drama club at that time. And I was the only black person in the drama club at that time. And they would treat me like damn royalty. And I was like, yes, I'm better than these individuals. I'm better than them niggas over there. I'm better than them. So I even had a moment myself to where I felt superior to other black people because I wasn't them. I'm having white people invite me over to their house and stay the night and shit, and y'all know where I am. Y'all don't think I'ma steal something? Y'all ain't afraid? And it seemed like none of those stereotypes were applicable onto me. But see, they had to get to know me first. But before getting to know me, of course they were going to look at me like that. Of course. Not saying all, but a lot of them are through fear. Okay? Spicy says, plenty of white LGBT folks have talked about their family, neighbors, classmates, etc., shitting on them for existing as LGBT. That's the thing, like, again, that's why I say, and what's up, Aries? What's going on? I'm gonna call you back. That's why, again, with this commentary that Ron is giving, I'm not trying to beat him down. Now, I've had my moments where I've said my shady shit, because, girl, it was what it was. But for the most part, I'm not going to beat him down because, again, he is trying to heal from his past. He's trying to figure all this out in his head. And there is some sort of dilemma within himself that he's trying to figure out. And instead of me being like so many others who's going to contribute to the chaos and contribute to the confusion, which then solidifies his judgment to identify with the pain, I'd rather have commentary that kind of helps him or give information, because he grown, he can do what the hell he want to do, but to give him another perspective to look at it that can be more holistic, that can still include him being a Christian, that can still include him being a Republican, but can we also include the humanity? Because that is a problem that both sides, Republican and Democrat, are forgetting. They're not honoring other people's humanity. They're just playing on the fear and the powers that be that's benefiting from this shit. Because again, war is profitable. We live in a capitalistic system. They're benefiting from the chaos. And they're afraid of individuals like myself, individuals like CTV and Neo X and Reckless Logic and Hope Giselle and Joseph Williams, a misunderstood social worker, and Deshaun and so many others, JC, so many others who are studying to show themselves approved and showing the actual evidence. But at the end of the day, it's about what people believe. You can either choose to subscribe to the fear, which is what the powers that be are banking on because they're making profit off of you, and they hope to make profit off of the next generation to come, your entire lineage, to support their life. Oh, Lord. Let's continue, y'all, because I got to get this shit done.
All of this bullshit that people are sending to my phone, well, I don't want to get into my personal life, but all I'm saying is anytime people have threatened my life, anytime people have made fun of me, hurt me, verbally abused me, physically abused me, put guns to my head to take my life away, it has always been people that look like me. But on this Republican note, I'm getting all this love from these white people that black people keep telling me, oh, you need to watch out because them white people ain't finna do nothing but use you as a puppet, and then secretly at some function they're gonna hang you by your throat and slaughter you. And it's so crazy that these niggas want to sit here and say that I need to be on their team when all my life I've been around them and they've done nothing but hurt me. So
we need to speak to that. Because like I said, there is accountability within blackness when it comes down to, once again, with him being mixed. being made fun of. I've heard stories of a lot of people who are black but who are mixed or maybe fairer skinned going through being judged and ridiculed. Even being queer, again, the same sentiment as Ron. The first time I heard the F word, the faggot word, was in church. But that word kept being solidified and verified to me, unfortunately, through my peers in school at the time. And the reason why people are saying mouthpiece, Ron, is because those same white people, they're using you to affirm their fears about black people. See, I knew it. I knew it. These black people talking about Black Lives Matter, and we have somebody that's in the black community that is saying that black people are killing black people. I knew it. That's what they mean by weaponizing it. Because they're using your pain. But what happens when you heal from your pain? Will the love still be there? What would happen if Ron Vuggotta, the Republican, was able to heal from those experiences that was done to him? Was able to transcend those experiences that happened to him? Do you think that those same people would still support you, still love you, still affirm your blackness, still affirm you being gay, not having a problem or issue with it? Because no shade, just being honest and using some sort of discernment. I'm still growing and strengthening it. But if what you're saying is true about white people treating you this way and stuff like that, then you wouldn't be pressed or upset or be hurt by these black people saying things to you, because now you know the truth. And the truth done set you free. But I think there's still some residue within you that needs to be healed. And the universe, God, source, Jesus, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same to me. Okay? It's putting these things in front of you to get you to realize certain things about yourself that you need to deal with. A wise mystic told me, and that's how I live my life going forward. Make everything about you, not about you in a narcissistic way, but pay attention to your own thoughts and your own emotions as much as you can. Why does things trigger me? Why do I feel this way when this person says this? Why? Ask a bunch of whys about yourself. And the more you do that, the more you will discover things about you that you need to let go of and get rid of. Well, what about them? What about them? They're not doing it. The universe will get their ass together. Your job in life, for all of us, the first and most important thing in our lives is to work out our own soul salvation. And since Ron is a Christian, I think there's a scripture in the Bible that says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these other things shall be added unto you. Where is the kingdom of heaven? It's not in a sky somewhere outside of you. Heaven, God, source, universe has been in the one place that we have not been taught, but we're now starting to look into, which is inside. It said, don't put no other God before me. It didn't say what the fuck you put after me. Just make sure I'm first in your life. Everything else, I don't give a damn about. Okay? It's that Alabama heat. I'm getting hot and sweating and shit just looking at him, Lord, because I can't do that, Lord. I hate the heat. I need it to be cold. Bubs, if there was a wrestling match between Alex Rhyme and O'Neal, who would you choose? Between Alex Rhyme and O'Neal, I'm gonna choose Alex. Alex whooped somebody to sleep. No shade. Black people challenging each other's blackness has got to stop. Black policing is like that Django character Samuel Jackson. Of course. That's what I'm saying. Like, in order for us to get to humanity, we have to deal with these roadblocks. And what we don't understand is that we've been strengthening these roadblocks, strengthening these mountains of fear and ignorance and division for so long, to where it's like, it seemed like we gonna need Thanos and all the goddamn Infinity Stones to snap some of this shit down. But I feel like the only way we gonna get these Affinity Stones or Infinity Stones or whatever stones they called is that we gonna have to start looking within us and start having those conversations that make us feel uncomfortable, but that are necessary. And that's why I show up honest, bitch, because at the end of the day, girl, like a wise mystic said, bitch, you're going to be exposed. Even if you feel like you ain't got shit worthy of being exposed of, bitch, you're going to be exposed. So it's better to just walk in your own truth. Because eventually, if you don't deal with your truth is going to deal with you. And in the information age, it will deal with you with thousands and possibly millions of others watching you. Okay, heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's a bunch of weak neck ass niggas.
So if we want to push the narrative that yes, I'm kissing white people ass, well, guess what? I wouldn't call it kissing white people ass. I'll call it going to the people that make me feel safe, going to the people that make me feel loved, going to the people that make me feel welcome, going to the people that make me feel just like a regular human. I don't give a fuck about gay shit. I don't give a fuck about all of this goddamn. We can't talk about Black Lives Matter when it's black fucking niggas putting guns to my fucking head. And I'm not fucking dumb. So if black people are willing, take out their, I don't want to call myself, the most intelligent, but I'm not fucking dumb. I came from the hood, and I know the life I could have had if I would have stayed in the goddamn hood, following niggas, talking about guns and drugs. So if these people that sit here saying Black Lives Matter want to sit here and tell me that I also need to root and rally for them, you are out of your fucking mind. And it's a lot of people who sit here in black culture that want to tell me about I turned my back on my own people. And again, I'm an Uncle Tom and all of this. Well, again.
I feel like you want to say fuck y'all niggas. You're like, oh, so well, oh well, bitch. Oh well. Oh well. And again, even with me, I still live in the hood, but I'm not a product of my environment. I ain't out here selling drugs. I'm not out here subscribing to the only narrative that a lot of black men and black people feel like they can have or get in touch with in order for them to escape the hood. And just because I have an extensive vocabulary and vernacular, even though I be stuttering a lot, even though I study to show myself approved, even though I operate with integrity, it's not going to stop what the outside world could do to me. Like, just because I love myself does not mean that it can stop a bullet from hitting me. Just because I love myself and I'm bettering myself does not mean that it can stop anything bad from happening to me. And I get it. And that's why I did my last commentary with Amir Odom and this fear that a lot of queer people have, and even black people have, as far as they see what's going on in society, and they're going to do whatever they can to disassociate themselves from it. Because even though my ass ain't going to pride parades and wearing goddamn erotic ass underwear and goddamn dog kinky fetish masks and shit, and I ain't on a pole and shit like that for thousands to see on the pride stage, I am still a gay person. I'm still sexually attracted, mentally, emotionally, and physically attracted to the same sex. And if we look at what it is now, these people are not differentiating between queer people and black people, or which black person you are you? These people are not taking the time out to get to know other black people and queer people. And if that was the case, the Republican Party would be outsourcing. The Republican Party would be going into black neighborhoods and saying, hey, maybe the Republican Party that your grandfather and your father grew up with, that was them. But we're different. Let me show you. Let me bring it to your attention. All of these people are going to them. And again, if one group of people end up being removed, it's not just going to be them. It's going to be others as well. And what I'm realizing is that people don't really understand until it happens to them. And I wish that I could be wrong about this. I want my face to be cracked when it comes to this. I want someone to prove to me that, oh, Bubs, you're stupid and delusional for believing in racism and queerphobia. That's not the world we live in now. It's 2023. But when I look out into the world, when I take the rose-colored glasses the fuck off and I look into what is objectively happening, I can understand why some people want to remove themselves. I can understand why people want to get on public platforms and give this illusion that this is not who I am, or I don't know these motherfuckers over here. I want to be wrong about this, and I hope that I am. But unfortunately, I doubt it. Alex ain't even out the bed. His sloth style martial arts, one of a kind. Okay, drunken master, drunken bedtime mode. He's just doing better by comparison. He's not well. Therapy is for all, and that's one thing about me. I feel like we all need therapy. We all, the way I see therapy is this: we all need to have safe spaces for us to be open and honest about where we're at and not be judged about it, but to also learn to heal from it. Because the guilt and the shame is what prevents the healing. The guilt and the shame is the obstacle that is placed in front of a lot of us in order for us to get over that hump. And smoke, we need therapy and weed. That's what we need. I feel like we're back in the 60s and 70s. Make love, not war. Like, if we look at it historically, we are literally repeating the cycle. How many more generations have to come before the cycle is broken? When we have the active choice to break the cycle now. Okay? It's unfortunate he doesn't have the emotional intelligence to differentiate those that hurt him from the rest of the community. And that's why I do my commentary, because I want to prove that there are other black people, other queer people who you can also build and have conversations and relationships and have proximity to, who can help bridge the gap. And the fact that a lot of these people continue to focus on the negative side of these groups of people, but not actually acknowledge and also integrate the intersections of it, I feel like we do ourselves a disservice, and we continue to perpetuate this cycle. And I understand it's about, oh, get it how you live. I'm worried about me. I'm worried about me. I'm worried about me. Yeah, you worried about you until. The universe, God, source will put us in positions for us to be alone. Hell, I'm in my nomad cocoon phase, so I've been spending the majority of my time by myself, in deep thought, in self-reflection, all these things. But we are human beings, and human beings are a communal species, and we need to find community. I hope that Ron continues to find the community that affirms him and that supports him, but I hope that it's in a loving way. And it would be so dope if we can just find a way to have Republicans, Democrats, straight people, gay people, different religions, different beliefs, ethnic backgrounds, if we could literally just manifest a melting pot of humanity where all is loved, all is included, as long as you ain't hurting yourself or nobody else, all is welcomed, all is included. It's so crazy. We fight so hard against inclusion, but we want to be included too. What? Huh? I'm sad for him, but I don't like the cut of his jib. He's young, unlived, and loud. YouTube features these kids. Well, I feel like some people have to grow, you know? And I understand, like, you know, but that's the thing. When you put it online, like, you're literally calling for your ego death. Even me being online, I've had a few ego deaths. You feel me? So it's just calling. Everything works in mysterious ways, in strange ways. And I think by Ron doing this and being public about it, I think he's, you know, unconsciously, which is still good somewhat, he's bringing forth all of the remedies that he needs in order for him to get a clearer picture of it. Because I have no problem with people being Republican. Like, I'm trying to get somebody on my platform this month who says that they're ex-gay. They're no longer gay. I want to have a conversation with them and try to understand, okay, can we at least establish a foundation of respect between people who are gay and those who say they're no longer gay? Because when people say they're ex-gay, I'm just going to honor it. I'm not about to sit up here and be like, oh, you lying and shit like that. That's not what I'm going to do. Because they probably feel the same way about me. I'm just going to honor their life. I'm going to see if they're going to be able to do the same thing, because Christ would have done that. No shade. You just summarized the Bible in a lot of ways. We have the choice to my in and out of the Oh, we have a choice to move in and out of the way. Yeah.
When I'm sitting here on my drive, before I got on camera, shedding some tears because I'm sitting here thinking like, what am I doing wrong? Other than being fucked up in the mind over the wrong people. I'ma do me.
Right.
I'ma do me.
As you should.
And I just want everybody to know that. I don't.
But you're not the only one that's doing you. There are trans people that are doing them. There are lesbians that are doing them. Bisexual, gay, intersex, asexual, demisexual. There's black people doing them. There's women doing them. There's all these groups of people doing them, but you have people in positions of power who feel some type of way about them doing them. And it doesn't even involve other people. But because of the way that they show up and people's ignorant beliefs about it, instead of educating themselves, they'll just go with the ignorant. And religion has given a lot of people a lazy way to just be like, oh, well, this is what the Bible says. Again, with the laws being put in place. Oh, that's my religious beliefs. Okay, well, like I said, I'm for equality across the board. Whether we in heaven or hell, I'm for it all. So if we're going to play this game, okay, then, well, how about this then? Okay, if you can discriminate against me for being queer, well, if a queer person is working the front register at Wendy's and you bring your big fat wide back ass into McDonald's or Wendy's and you ask for a triple baconator, okay, large fry and a Diet Coke, as if though the diet is going to do something miraculous, don't get mad when that person at the front register says, sorry, ma'am, I can't serve you that. Well, what do you mean? Ma'am, you're built like a class of kindergartners, ma'am. When I saw you pull up into the drive-thru to come in, I was like, damn, it's a lot of motherfuckers in that Tahoe car. And it seems like it's busting out the seams. Then you bring your slow breathing, slow leg, dead leg, sloth dragon leg ass into Wendy's to order a triple. Now, man, I can't give you that. Now, I can offer you a healthier alternative. How about a salad? I guarantee you that person will lose their job. But I'm just saying, if we're going to play this game, let's play the game. Okay? How many times can someone experience an ego death? Is it sporadic or is it just a big moment of clarity? I feel like it's going to be throughout our lives. Ego deaths literally are just the acceptance of things that we cannot control. That's what an ego death is. And for each person is different. I can't give you like a model of it as far as like directly, but from my opinion and my perspective and from my experience and research and stuff, ego deaths are it's different for every person. Whatever it is that you're afraid to face and you end up facing it and you can't escape facing it, that's what the ego death is. When it's at the forefront of your mind. My ego death was in 2018 over a romantic relationship. I wanted to be with someone who didn't know how to be with themselves, therefore couldn't be with me. And I had that experience happen so many times to where I got to a point to where I had to really start questioning myself, and it became scary. That's what the ego death is. He said, can he do it quiet? No, look, this is United. Look, one thing I would say about America, I'm all about free speech, but at the end of the day, whatever you put publicly, understand, people gonna have a response. I'm waiting for people to respond to my shit. Okay, if I'm wrong, let me know how wrong I am. Nobody has done it yet. I'm sure they will, but not yet. And that's why I'm living myself, because, baby, I have Harriet Tubman energy, okay? I don't mind going to hell and back again and again and again and again and still surviving. We just surviving.
One thing I've learned over these past couple of months is my Republican views isn't a money grab. It isn't me trying to, it's just Jesus Christ aligning me with a group of people who share the same values that I share. I really just want to make my money, start my businesses, give back to the people, the homeless, whoever, live my life and reap the benefits. That's it. There
are plenty of queer people that want to do that. there's plenty of black people that want to do that. And the reason why we talk about systemically is because, once again, you've had groups of people who said, we have had enough. We're done with our quality of life, and we are going to make a change. But again, when the system has built itself off of your back, if you start to stand up, the game is over with. If oppressed people start to collectively rise up, the game board on their back will disrupt. And the powers that be don't want that, because they have been eating really good, surviving really good, living really good, not off of their own merit, off of their own gifts, off of their own talent, but off the backs of other people. America is like a corporation. It's like a business. Every aspect of our life is monopolized. And they want to keep it that way. Even at the expense of other people's lives. There's so many people who have lost their lives, and it's just seen as collateral. Ron, you are opening up a can of worms, and the fact that you're having an ego death, I want you to understand, you just like Neo in the Matrix. Ain't no going back, bruh. Ain't no going back. And I'm sure you know that. Ain't no going back. I don't want you to go back to being depressed. I don't want you to go back to feeling oppressed. I want you to have power. I want you to walk in your own unique, genuine power. There is only one Ron Vuggotta in the world, and I want you to be that. Be you. But be yourself in a way to where other people being themselves don't matter to you, because it's not affecting your life. But what's happening, and what they're trying to get you to see the bigger picture of, which I feel like you do, but a part of you be struggling, because it's like if you acknowledge what these other people are saying outside of you as far as the bigger picture, it's as if though your identity, or I'm going to say this. Ron, you've been, and again, from what I've seen from my research, looking at your older YouTube videos all the way up to now, the private conversations that we've had in the past, it's like you've been trying to find who you are or your own identity. But it seems as if though, like, no matter what you connect yourself to, it seems as if though it doesn't really strengthen or validate who you really are as an individual or as a person. That's something that you have to do within yourself. And the party that you're affiliated with, the powers that be, maybe not all Republicans. I got to believe all Republicans are not, they're not in this way of trying to oppress other people. I have to believe it, because I feel like even Republican people, their fears are being played upon. To where, oh, you fear this side and the other side fear this side. So there's nothing but fear. But these conversations and the commentary that I give, my job that I'm trying to do is to dilute those fears. But the powers that be are monopolizing and banking on you being fearful, you being hurt, you not being healed, you not being whole and complete genuinely. They want you to be healed, whole, and complete in the way that they believe you should be. But not in the way that God's source universe is calling for you individually to be. Without the influence of other people, but within yourself. And I feel like Ron is on that journey trying to figure that out. And maybe him being Republican is just something that is transitory in him getting to that next level. And again, if you want to be a Republican and all that stuff, that's fine. But you can't get up here and create commentary about groups of people and put a broad generalization on them, especially when you look at the laws today. That's exactly what they're doing. Jesus ain't do intros, come on, y'all. Free will. He just likes who he's picking in the honeymoon phase. If they get him for some money, he will say a word. White collar. If it ain't a money grab, it should be. Baby, you're leaving money on the floor. No shade. There are some people who are doing it for themselves only. And then there are others who are doing it not only for themselves, but for the community. And if we're going to talk about Jesus, which is so funny for a lot of Christians, I ain't talking about Ron in particular, but I'm just talking about Christianity at large. A lot of Christians bypass Jesus to get to God because God is the power. They want the power. They don't want to go through Christ, which is the humility, which is the humbleness, which is the honoring of humanity and honoring yourself, so that when you do come into power, hello, heavy is the head that wears the crown. With great power comes great responsibility. And we see what people do when they get power but don't know how to deal with the balanced version of power, to where now Jesus is just the mascot for the organization, because a lot of these people are not even walking in the footsteps of Christ. Christ wasn't even worried about money. Christ wasn't even worried about worldly and material things, because those things don't save you. And when you die, you can't take them with you, and they can be removed from you at any time. Christ was more so about the mental and the emotional, the one thing that can't nobody take. Even when, according to the narrative, he was on the cross, he still controlled his own narrative. How many of us are willing to do that?
I don't care about talking about killing niggas. I don't care about talking about popping mollies and smoking drugs. I don't care to talk about somebody baby mama, baby daddy drama. I don't care to talk about goddamn celebrities. I don't care to sit here and do all this stupid shit that don't mean nothing. But then again, these are the same people that want to sit here and say, oh, but you need to root for me. You need to fight for me. And I'm not saying all these white people out here, because I've gave my 2 cents on white liberals. Please. So I'm not sitting here saying, oh, all white people are angels and got nobody. Y'all are too fucked up on labels. That's what it is. Y'all are too stuck on skin color and classism, all of this bullshit. Y'all are.
But again, these are not just the black people and stuff is stuck on this stuff. Is because the powers that be are stuck on it too. Because again, I think I heard this quote where it says, if you don't know your history, you're like a leaf blowing on a tree. You don't know nothing about the other leaves. You don't know nothing about the branch. You don't know nothing about the bark. You don't know anything about the root of it. Queer people out here living their best goddamn life, and then and then having the narrative put on them that, oh, they're trying to have your children do this. And then if we're going to talk about them killing and smoking drugs and all that type of stuff, again, let's have the 360 viewpoint of it. Let's look at all of it. That's why I realize a lot of these people are not willing to get into it mentally and emotionally. They just want their own peace. And that's fine. Get your own peace. But understand, the fact that you're even willing and able to get your own peace because of the people who laid down the foundation for you and I to get on YouTube, not nigga, not nigga Rumble, not nigga Instagram, not nigga Twitter, not nigga this, but on the actual stuff and be able to speak and voice our opinions freely, because there was a point in time where we couldn't. And if you look at the laws today, they want to get back to that time. So a lot of times when Ron speaks about these things, there is some ignorance there outside of him. He's trying to figure out who he is on the inside, which I commend him for that. And I wish that more human beings would start to love themselves and figure out who they are. Because once you do that, you can join up with other people so that you can help make the collective change. Because we all living in America, bruh. It should be. The fact that we are arguing and fighting every single day over bullshit just baffles my mind. We're supposed to be the melting pot, which means we have to get to know people. How can we get to know people if we continue to subscribe to the fear? Where are the fear-facing motherfuckers at? That's who I want to talk to. That's who I want to have on the live. And smoke, no shade. That's why I do what I can to help educate. I have a documentary that I made, custom bootleg ratchet ass documentary that I made, where I took certain parts from 13 from Netflix and other people who have done the research, statistical data from back then up till now. And like going back to the point, because we gotta hurry up because I gotta get this shit done. But talking about black people smoking drugs and popping mollies and all that shit. Are we not going to talk about the radio stations and the record executives that sanction this to happen? And then when these rappers end up dying and losing their life, guess who laughing their way to the bank? It ain't the family of those who lost a loved one. And did you also know, which I put in that documentary, that even for these rappers who are continuing to perpetrate and perpetuate the cycle of death and destruction and sex only in the black community, that there are life insurance policies taken out on these people? And that the more tragic the death is, the more money the record executives make. So imagine living in the hood. You already in a place where you are. Imagine living in the hood in an area where people don't even really give a fuck about themselves. So if they don't give a fuck about themselves, why the fuck would they give a fuck about somebody else? A lot of these people try to find ways to make money because going to school is seen as being lame. Working a 9 to 5 is seen as being lame. I see that being lame, no shade, but being lame like that. Why do that? Why sit there and work at a job that does not care about me and make $10,000 a year when I can literally go on the motherfucking corner and make that shit in a matter of a week? That's why this shit is systematic. And then whenever black people want to be a doctor or want to be a lawyer or want to do something as opposed to being an athlete or a rapper, they're made fun of. This shit got a lot of us fucked up, but it's not impossible to unfuck it. It's just that we gonna have to put in the motherfucking work. And a lot of us, if you ain't willing to put in the work, go sit down, baby. It's okay. Go work on yourself. That's the point. If you don't have the mental and emotional fortitude to deal with the objective truths that is affecting us collectively, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, then go sit down and figure out who you is and move out the way so the individuals who are self-actualized or individuals that have a strong foundation of self-actualization can come into the situation and help make it better.
Too stuck on the wrong things. That's why I say them Democrats got y'all mind fucked up, because y'all sitting here thinking y'all oppressed when I think about my oppressors, they aren't white people. When I think about my oppressors, honest to God, right hand of Jesus Christ, maybe I'm talking emotionally, but this is the real and the raw how I feel.
And that's what I appreciate. That's what I want more of. That's what I want more of. That's what I wish the world would be more of. Speak from your emotions. Stop trying to pussyfoot. Stop trying to be politically correct. Stop trying to walk on eggshells. Say it like it is. Speak with your emotions, which a lot of times be the ego. Speak from your ego, because your ego is going to tell on you. But that's not a bad thing, because now you have an opportunity to have an ego death and to have your ego under your subjection, as opposed to the other way around.
When I think about my traumas and shit, I think about people that look like me. I'm thinking about people that are my skin color. I'm not thinking about white people. Like I said in the video before, no white person put a gun to my head. No white person called me a goddamn Faggot, SISSY, all of this. But at the same time, when it's time to benefit these black queens and these black kings, oh, now I'm accepted into the culture. When it's time to talk about mixed race, oh, you're mixed race. You're not even black. Make up y'all mind. And y'all mad at me because I picked a side? So, honestly, if we want to push a narrative that, we're not pushing a narrative, I'm confirming one thing, truthfully, that I'm not finna lose my blessings. I'm not finna lose my mind when I know for a fact that I'm not anti-black. There are other black Republicans that I talk to and have a great laugh with. What are y'all talking about? I have no regrets in my decisions. I haven't backed down on my Republican views because I ran out of things to say. I'm not no puppet. I believe in what I believe in. I backed out of just filming for a while because, again, I blessed up. My life has been nothing but smiles and happiness. Only thing that triggered me to do this live stream and speak from my heart right now is because of this bullshit from black culture that is pissing me off. Maybe every culture has their own problems, but for me, we can stop talking about how I'm trying to kiss white people ass, because until black people can show me some community, until black people can make up, and we can't make up for all the trauma that I've endured, we can't make up for all the pain that I suffered, we can't. And I don't want no forgiveness. I think that's what's dangerous. I don't want no, I'm moving on with my life. I give it to Jesus Christ and I say, you know what, God, if I'm doing so much wrong, then don't bless me, God. If I'm
gonna say this, because a lot of times people make Jesus and God synonymous, which I can understand, but the way they walked and expressed themselves were different. You need to forgive the guilt and shame from what those individuals did to you. Because again, because there is still residue of unforgiveness in your heart. Because I mean, didn't Christ say not to harden your heart? Christ even forgave those who murdered him. Isn't that why on the cross he muttered out before he died, according to the narrative, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And because of the unforgiveness in you, the powers that be are going to weaponize that against other people. Because what I'm realizing and I'm seeing, especially a lot of times from other people who are black or who are mixed and who are queer, is there is this push. They were not accepted from their own community or was treated wrong by their own community or for certain constituents in their own community. And now they label the whole community. Now, and it's a bunch of Republican people who I would love for a bunch of black Republicans to sit down and speak about their issues with black people. I would love for them to do that. I would love for them to get into their personal life. But see, that'd be the thing. We don't want to get into the personal life because the personal life low-key leaves breadcrumbs to the truth. But even when people respond emotionally and they don't have strong emotional intelligence, they low-key end up telling on themselves. And for those of us who have learned forgiveness, those of us who have had ego deaths and survived them, for those of us who have studied to show ourselves approved, for those of us who spend time by ourselves, for those of us who are really trying to find the God within us, you low-key start unlocking certain things and gifts about yourself. And one of those things are the gifts of discernment, to where you're listening, not to respond, but to understand. There is still some hurt there, Ron, that needs to be dealt with. And maybe therapy would be good for you. Maybe a place for you to talk to somebody about your feelings without being judged, without being made fun of, for you to deal with certain things about yourself. I think that would be beneficial, because at this point, and again, from the outside perspective looking in, because just like how you want black people and queer people to prove certain things to you, you still got to prove certain things to the black and queer people. But until you deal with that hurt and that pain, there is going to be a group of people who are going to weaponize that against other black people to say, hey, look, see, I told you. This black person said it. That black person said it. So now we get to verify our fears about y'all. And now we can go forward with further oppression. And the gag is, none of this shit is new. We are doing even me speaking out with activism is still following in the same footsteps of those before us that continue the cycle. We have to do something different. And at this point, I want to talk and connect and commune with other individuals who think differently than me, but are also tapped into humanity. Because there might be some things that I don't see that Ron might be able to see. And vice versa. There might be certain blind spots. But the commentary, the conversations, and that's why I'm like, at this point, if it get heated, if we got to cuss, that's fine. Roll up the weed. Let's sit the fuck down and work through this. Because if we don't, the next generation and the generation after that and the generation after that is going to have to deal with this. Or until a generation comes that manifests destruction for all of us. Because if this idea of heaven that we all are trying to collectively manifest does not happen, we will manifest the opposite. Because heaven or hell is going to bring something new. And I just want to do the heaven part. But if we have to go to the deepest, darkest depths of hell, let's go. Because according to the narrative of the Bible, Christ already did it. And because Christ, love, was able to associate itself in hell, you can make your bed in heaven or hell and it will find you there. We have the ability to grow from it as well.
The wrong path, don't bless me. And I'm not finna be fucked up over people who want me to feel bad about my decisions. I'm my own person.
Correct.
So
you're right.
It is what it is.
That's true.
I love you guys. I'm gonna come back with more videos. I'm not backing down. I'm just living life. And I'm happy. This is the happiest I've ever been in my whole entire life. Just a year ago, I was goddamn dead broke, hopeless, believing that, you know, I was a victim, believing that I couldn't achieve nothing with my life, believing that everything people did to me was something that I deserved. And then in a way, I did deserve it because I let those situations. At some point, you have to be real enough with yourself to say, I'm bringing this to myself, because when you know better, then you do better.
Correct.
Or rather, if you're doing the same thing, getting the same exact result, at some point, it should click to you, if you think big enough, that maybe there's something different I can be doing, because this isn't working for me.
Right. I agree.
Especially if it's causing you pain. It's like a bad relationship, not the love of my life, verbally abusing me, not my own people who look like me, putting me down. Even before I was goddamn Republican, y'all niggas was putting me down. What the hell are y'all talking about? I love y'all. Jesus Christ, I want to pray for everyone that, or at least pray for me. Forgive me for my sins, and forgive me for even letting just these negative bad vibes get me down, Lord. Keep me focused, Jesus Christ, and I thank you for everything that you've ever done for me and everything that you are doing for me that I'm not even conscious enough to be thankful for. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my abundance. Thank you for the love that I receive. Thank you for the strength to remain unscathed. Thank you for creating me. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I love y'all. And if I could tell you guys anything, the best thing I can say is to know yourself. When you know yourself, then nobody can put you down. Nobody can put fear in your heart. When you know yourself and you know Jesus Christ, nobody can stop you. I have big dreams. I have a big life that I want to live. And I'm not a goddamn victim. And I never will be ever again. So
I will agree with the end part. I am not a victim and I never will be again. You're right. That's what T.S. Madison said. Look at her now. That's what Hope Giselle said. Look at her now. Let's take it further. That's what Martin Luther King said. Look at him now. That's what Malcolm X said. Look at him now. Let's take it even further. That's what Jesus said by the way of Christ, and look at him. We live in a world today where people are making the choice to liberate themselves. And the system doesn't want liberation unless it can benefit from the liberation. And if anything, it wants to benefit from the liberation more than the person that's trying to liberate themselves. I, again, commend Ron for being honest. I commend Ron for not wanting to be a victim. I commend Ron for wanting to get up and to make the conscious choice to leave behind things that have hurt him. But if you do not, I'm going to read you a scripture. I'm going to end it like this. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. I think I've read it before. This is from 1 Corinthians 13. I think it's 1 through 3. And it reads, "If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames, but not have love, I gain nothing." And love and forgiveness is synonymous with each other. Now, you can forgive a motherfucker and still love them from afar. You can still forgive somebody and not fuck with them, because the forgiveness is not for them, it's for you, because you're making the choice to say, you know what you did to me, how you hurt me, how you used. It's kind of like people that are victims of domestic abuse. There has to be a point in time where you have to learn to let that go, because not every person who's romantically invested in you or wants you is going to hurt you. And you will fuck around and miss out on your potential partner who is really meant to love you in your life, because you're still holding on to the fear of what happened. So there's still another hurdle that not just Ron, but all of us have to deal with throughout the rest of our lives, is forgiveness. Even me, I'm learning how to forgive and humanize people who can't even honor my humanity. I'm learning how to forgive and tap into the humanity of queerphobic people, of people who are racist. Because what I'm realizing again is that at large, regardless of what you believe, what you want to believe, the power of fear is something else. And we see that a lot of people give their power away to other people, as opposed to taking the power back into their own hands. So we're going to continue to see what's going to happen with Ron Vuggotta and the commentary that he shares. And like I said, my goal is to try to have conversations of understanding. Like, where do we go from here? Like, we've already heard about the history and all this stuff. What is the next step collectively as humanity? Because the universe is going to get us to tap into humanity, whether we collectively come together and do it or we're forced to do it. But thank y'all for rocking with me for this impromptu live. I have to hurry up and get ready because I'm supposed to be leaving. We're probably going to leave out at 6:30 or something. And it's supposed to be raining, so y'all please pray our safe travels, Lord. Andrew, back up, bitch. Travels from Detroit to Indiana. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to Ron Mims in the building. Shout out to Extra Smoke Dragon in the building. Okay, shout out to Donna B in the building. Who else? Shout out to Queen Spicy in the building. Shout out to Naries in the building. Who else we got? Shout out to Aries in the building. You came in on 2 profiles or you changed your picture? Oh, you came on both. Okay, shout out to the other one, Aries Beast. All right. Shout out to Style by Stevie. Shout out to those in the replay gang. Shout out to Ron, because Ron, I know you watching this. Shout out to you. No shade. Yeah. Thank y'all for joining me for another live entitled The Power of Emotional Honesty. And again, I hope that Ron continues to be emotionally honest, not with himself, but with others, because that's how you build your genuine community of people who are not just white, but just all aspects of humanity, acknowledging Ron Vuggotta for who you are, who are willing to look past the labels, look past the trauma, look past the hurt, the pain, and to see you for who you are, the way that God sees you, which is through the lens of unconditional love, which means there's nothing you can do to separate yourself from it. And I hope and pray that you continue to find people who honor that in you, and not just those who can weaponize your experience against another group of people. Okay? All right, y'all, make sure y'all hit that like button. That's one of the most important things you can do because it helps the channel to grow in the algorithms. Make sure y'all do that. Also, make sure that y'all hit, if you're fucking with my vibe, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you can stay up to date with my uploads and my lives. Again, I go live at a random time, so make sure you stay tuned to that. And if you're feeling compelled, you can hit my Cash App down below. You know, I'm a broke nigga according to certain people. Only broke people use Cash App. So for the broke people using Cash App, my Cash App is $BubzDaGawd, okay? Anything helps, baby. We take things that jingle, fold, and in between, okay? We don't discriminate, baby. Okay? We want financial abundance as well. Not just mental and emotional abundance, but financial abundance as well. And anything you send helps. All right? No shade. And until next time, everybody, peace.
Love never dies, just choose to be born again.
Shaya. Oh, Mashanya. Oh, I feel a Shakani up in here. Oh, I feel a Shakani up in here.